I really just think it was a Pac and Biggie thing.
I think there's another party involved that's heavily involved, whose name I will not mention because...
Is it the woman who killed Salinas?
Yes, it is Yolanda. It is Yolanda, the murderer, Selena murderer. That's who I'm thinking of. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my not at all dreading this episode co-host, Alexander Volts. Say hello.
So I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast for this, where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a whole discography per episode. And today, in case you couldn't tell, we'll be discussing every album by...
Tupac. It's the Tupacalypse, baby.
Indeed, it is. This was requested on Patreon by my buddy Josh. Thank you for supporting us and hanging out. I've known Josh for an ungodly amount of years.
He's lucky he's a nice guy. Otherwise, I'd be way more angry right now.
I don't think we have to explain much about how Alex feels right now because if you're new here, sorry and goodbye. But also, if you're not new here, then you've heard Alex say multiple times over the course of this lengthy podcast that we've done for several years now that Alex doesn't like Tupac. He's already Team Biggie.
I went into this with an open mind because I've like never really listened to a full album before. Also, I feel like maybe some hip hop heads are gonna find this and like my credentials are on the line because they'll like see all these weird noise rock bands or whatever.
Yep.
But
Paramore.
I promise. I've been listening to it for a good while. Yep. And we do get around to things like JPEG Mafia, MF Doom,
yep.
A Fugees, even
the Fugees, Diggable Planets, Grave Diggers, obviously Biggie.
Well, Mike wasn't too big on it, but DMX
don't like it. Clips also hate. Chuck Wild Quest. We've done a handful of hip. We actually have a whole playlist on whatever.
Run DMC.
Oh yeah, that was old school. But that's not on YouTube, but we did do that in the very early days.
Boogie Down Productions.
I forgot about Boogie Down Productions.
Never forget.
Two Live Crew. Never forget Two Live Crew.
Two Live Crew's like my magnum opus. Nothing's gonna beat that.
That was a nightmare. That was a fucking nightmare of an episode, dude.
Episode 69, baby.
It was episode 69.
So, like, on top of like listening to it for a long time, but I've just always felt more connected to like East Coast rap, underground rap.
Yeah.
And I'll get into why Tupac doesn't do it for me in this episode.
So is it safe to say that nothing has changed for you?
I may be slight. Oh man, I went through some peaks and valleys at one album. I was like, okay, maybe I misunderstood him. And then I was like, no, I know exactly who he is.
I'm afraid that we're going to agree too much. I was making predictions earlier. Like, I think I feel like he's going to come in with some haymakers, some wild picks. And I think he's going to do this instead of what we all think. But I have a feeling we might end up agreeing.
We might end up agreeing because this is one of the episodes where I wanted to put aside my feelings and give best to like what I think Tupac fans would give best to, like what his fans.
What you would say objectively is his best.
I couldn't do it though.
What really?
Yeah, a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm like, what people think is his best album. I'm sorry, I can't say it is.
I think my predictions might come true. Never mind.
Yeah,
interesting. So, as a guy who grew up in East LA my entire life, born and raised. I mean, the bombardment of Tupac imagery in his music it's impossible to avoid. It's impossible.
He's like so cholo adjacent.
Yeah. And
I didn't really figure out why. And through listening to his music, I figured out why. It's the like Morrissey, the Smiths thing.
Check out episode on the Smiths.
Yeah. Very melodramatic, over the top with his feelings. It's telenovela hip hop.
I don't think it was that much. I didn't think it was that overdramatic.
This guy has so many feelings.
Well, he definitely has feelings. He's a poet, man.
He has so many feelings. And then I also noticed he's probably like the only mainstream rapper who like openly like shouted out Mexicans.
Really?
On specifically on the song "To Live and Die in L.A."
Oh,
and also one of his producers was I have his name written down when we get to it. Was a Mexican man, so I'm like the Chicano connection makes a lot more sense to me.
I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean it's a beloved in LA, and I don't fit in with LA my whole life. I've always kind of felt weird. I tend to resonate more with the East Coast stuff in general. And then, so I thought like, well, maybe this it doesn't matter. I'm going to go in completely open-minded. I was excited because I mean, you hear the famous stuff, and not one person in my entire life living in LA, no one has ever said, check out this album. Even like, I mean, people can point to albums, sure, but no one has actually ever said this album is the Tupac album.
Yeah,
and we just give me the songs. So I was worried that he's not an album guy, that it's probably just the hits. So I came in and he's not an album guy, and there's stuff on here that I absolutely love. I mean, some of these songs that I had to like, fuck it, it's fucking great, and then other stuff. Other stuff, Alex. Other stuff.
Look, sometimes a Hail Mary comes on, and that song's just fucking. It's fucking good. I like it. So there is some good stuff.
There is, I would say, a lot of good stuff, and on albums that I would say I think are really bad albums, there's songs in there that I think are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of this is. It's just really mishmash. And at the end of the day, I am a Biggie man. As you are, check out that episode. Just because there's a lot of things, because I remember you said many times at various points that West Coast hip hop is too sweet for you. You use the term sweet.
Yeah.
I would use the term smooth.
Yeah.
Which is very soulful.
Those G-Funk samples.
Yeah.
The Parliament and Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, a lot of Funkadelic. The whatever that thing is, the little fucking theremin thing.
Yeah, that's very much like
super West Coast. It's super Dr. Dre, and I mean some of the stuff that Dr. Dre's involved with on here. It's like, is that all you got, dude?
He's actually like very little
on here. Yes, but the thing is, when he is there, it's just obviously Dr. Dre. Where it's like that's. Pretty sure that's just a Dre song. Like, holy crap. There's not a whole lot of range in the music. And I remember someone telling me, it might have been Josh, the guy who requested this episode, years and years and years ago when we were young men. Because I at the time I was just getting into hip hop. I was a teenager. I had no idea. And I said like, well, give me like a quick Reader's Digest of Biggie and Tupac musically. And he said, Biggie has better flow. Tupac has better beats. And I think the opposite is true. I wouldn't say Tupac has better flow because I mean Biggie is like unbelievable.
Yeah,
there's something about the way that Tupac raps on certain albums that is just satisfying rhythmically, satisfying on like because I've said before the main thing I like about hip hop is when their voices are like a drum where I can listen to them like a percussion instrument because the way they're rhyming. Tupac does it in a way that is so insanely satisfying. I think he has a very cool style, but beat wise,
Oh, we were joking about his flow even before.
It's so catchy though. It's funny. You can blip the pop. I mean, but it's funny. But it's so catchy.
This man loves the last syllables.
Exactly. I was saying this the past 2 days. He emphasizes the last syllables really hard.
So hard.
But it's super catchy. I like it. Like a lot. The beats, on the other hand, is where I start to get lost, where it's hit or miss.
Man, the beat variety is kind of all over the place. I feel like 2 of these albums are like there's some hits on there, but I feel like they don't get talked about the way the other 3 albums do.
There's songs where I got both. Where one were like that one's famous, and boy, do I get why that one's famous. Like holy crap! And the other ones where I've never ever heard anybody mention it, and it's like I think that's one of his fucking best songs. Like holy shit. And then a lot of other songs where I know why people don't talk about them.
Oh, there are some. Some songs I was like
the funniest things in the world,
dude.
I mean, I will. some of the songs that I think are bad are so funny that I will remember them for the rest of my life. They'll be continuous. There'll be jokes, inside jokes for me for the rest of my life because I can't forget them. It's unbelievable. It's fun, but maybe not in the way that people like hear me saying.
Life-changing artists, not.
But the stuff that's good is fuck, man. It's really good. And I found myself actually kind of being a little bit charmed by Tupac as a guy, especially looking at his roots and how kind of flamboyant and artsy he was before the whole gangster persona thing took over.
Yeah, I get very much this guy who's almost like trapped in two different worlds.
100%.
And yeah, I think I almost wonder how much like leaning into like the thug persona is like it becomes self-prophesizing at a certain point.
There's a lot of really wonky, iffy, strange things about his entire story. I mean, obviously the stuff including his death, which we're not going to take any sides. We're not going to be blaming anybody, but we know it's fishy. A lot of it's creepy and fishy, but even the gangster thing where it's like, hold on, that wasn't there an album ago. What happened there? Like there was something like you see like an immediate transformation kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like when he finds his trademark,
his voice. Yeah, even when he literally on one album, you hear his voice drop. Like he's all of a sudden has a deep voice now.
Which is also crazy because is he like in the 27 club or did he?
No, he's 25.
So young. Dude. So young. And that's part of like why I find some of the songs like hard to like.
Oh yeah, because there's no perspective.
Get a hold on, and I'm like, dude, you're so young. You're talking like you're 50.
Yeah. Well, he needed to because he
had a lot of living to do.
He had to get it done quick.
He's speed running.
Oh man, but for a little bit of backstory, we got some notes from our bar Tom Osman. You should go follow and help out because he helps us out. He has this. He's given us a bunch of notes from TupacLegacy.net. It's a pretty thorough, detailed overview of the entire guys, everything. We're not going to be jumping too much into everything because there's a lot. You know the lore.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know the lore, we'll give you the bullet points. But we want to talk about the music more. And also, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Or if we start saying, you know who I think killed him, it's going to sound pretty stupid and also maybe get us killed.
I do know the broad strokes where he was like, not born on the West Side.
He sure was not. And there's a reason he became kind of Mr. West Side. And that is because we're not going to talk about that, but it's okay.
I'm going to talk about.
All right, I'll get to talk about it. You know where to find him.
Yeah, because I do think a lot of the like, even listening to his albums, like if you're like young and you had like you're just listening to these albums, you had no idea about this whole like 90s East Coast West Coast thing. Like listening to these albums, I'm like, it was so like fabricated and also over petty shit.
Completely.
I think it was a Tupac Biggie thing that got a little bigger because he'll also like get into Nas and Jay-Z and even accuse the members of Mobb Deep of having sickle cell, which
it's pretty funny.
That song we won't be talking about today, but
which song is it?
Let's hit 'em up.
Okay, because I went on my way to listen to like a good chunk of the unreleased stuff just so I'm familiar with most of the stuff that he made when he was alive.
I can't believe the amount of shit this man worked. Insane.
It is bananas how much is
if what I read could there's still unreleased shit.
Of course there is. I mean, the old Chappelle Show sketch hit the nail on the head.
Oh, where
wrote the song a real long time ago, and he's just talking about current events.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Where like, oh shit, he told you he was gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, that was the perfect sketch. It really is. But so he was born in 1971 in East Harlem, New York. Of course, his birth name was Lazane Parrish Crooks. But in 1972, he was a year old when they changed his name to Tupac Amaru Shakur.
I didn't know you could do that, but all right, yeah. It's before he has memories. So good.
But also, like, I mean, give it a shot. Give the name a shot before change. I mean, one a year. That's not.
No,
it's not even a test drive.
His mom knew.
His mom was a problem. It seems like, but yeah.
I do like how candid he is.
Yeah,
because everything I heard about her is what a wonderful woman she is, and her legacy in the Black Panthers, which I'm not taking away from her at all. But then I'm listening to Tupac. He's like, "Mama, you were a crack fiend." I was like, I didn't know that.
She wasn't good. She wasn't good. She wasn't no good at all. It's a lot of like shadowy parts of like every person's story involved in this, because there's just, I mean, it's just an entire story of sides. That's really what it is. They're all it's just extremes. She's both a crack fiend and a really supportive mother. I mean, like, it's basically it's like a template for everybody who we're gonna be talking about,
and a civil rights leader.
Yeah, something like that. Jeez, man, it's a wild backstory. But it says right here, Tupac burst onto the rap scene after a guest appearance on Digital Underground's Same Song. The track was used on the soundtrack of the movie Nothing But Trouble, and Shakur was featured performing the song in the movie, demonstrating to a wide audience the sheer talent this previously unknown rapper possessed. Digital Underground's lead vocalist Shock-G was impressed enough with the young rapper that he agreed to be Tupac's personal manager.
Also, R.I.P. Shock-G.
Yeah. The agreement was cemented by this 14-page contract signed in strong blue ballpoint, Tupac A. Shakur, and dated March 13th, 1991 on page 12. That's a weirdly detailed thing. Tom notes right here, needless to say, with lines like signed in strong blue ballpoint, the history from the Tupac Legacy website is scarily detailed. I only pulled out a small part for the notes above.
That seems to be a thing, because if you go to Genius, every song has a story.
Yeah. Tom also notes here, he says, also between the start of his solo career and his untimely death, there were a number of criminal charges and run-ins with the law. To save making this all very salacious and gossipy, I'm steering clear of all that, but you don't have to look very far to get more details.
You don't, because he talks about it
endlessly.
I thought nobody's gonna beat DMX's rap sheet. Like, I'm like, that's a long sheet.
Yeah.
I realize, like Mayhem, there's actual murder, but it's a one and done murder. After that.
Yeah, there's a couple murders, but one within the band, and that's pretty much it.
That's it. Here, you got assaults, you got rapes, you got gun charges, and I don't, it's crazy that sodomy is a crime to me, but you got sodomy, and
wait, really? Where?
Like, you can be like he was charged when we get there.
Weird. Man, that seems a little bit of invasive of a law.
Rape's real bad. What hole did you do it in? Because then it's worse.
Oh, I guess. Oh, okay. What is like? For some reason, my idiot brain went like, but it was consensual. It's obviously not consensual. That's why it's a crime. Okay, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into enough of it. At least we're gonna be covering. So those of you who know that he has somewhere between 10 and 15,000 posthumous albums. It's a ongoing joke of how many posthumous albums. We're gonna be covering one. Okay, we'll be covering one because
big one,
the one is Makaveli, the first posthumous album.
One of the funniest album titles, I must say.
It's a pretty funny album title. It's a kind of a funny album cover, but that one has like, I think it's the last album he had with the last album released with where he had like active creative input, where he was his album. The rest are like, a lot of gray area, a lot of remixes, a lot of people finishing the song for him. But at least that's what I believe. Not counting like the greatest hits, which has unreleased stuff on there.
Not to mention B-sides, dish tracks like Hit 'Em Up and features.
I mean, Hit 'Em Up, we might as well talk a little bit about it just because it's the greatest intro of all time.
Yes.
I mean, I don't like the song personally.
Really?
I don't like this. I think it's hilarious. I think the intro is one of the greatest intros of all time. Yeah. I think it has too many memorable lines to count. Yes. But the beat, I don't like the beat at all.
Oh, I think it's one of his greatest songs.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But That concludes our talk on Hit 'Em Up.
Hit 'Em Up. It's a great diss track.
It's a great diss track.
As at the time of recording this, the diss tracks are coming back.
Are they?
Megan the Stallion had a good one. Hiss. So,
Also, another unreleased track that we're not going to get to on these albums, Changes, which I think is one of the worst songs ever written.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all we're going to say about that.
But
that's the way it is. I think it's never going to be the same. I'm sorry.
They're never going to be the same. Did he do Thugs Action? Was that him?
I don't remember.
Oh, I didn't come ready. Yes, Thugs Mansion with a Z, of course.
Is it
him and Biggie talking about a Thugs Mansion way up in the sky.
Oh, I remember that song. I remember. Yes.
It's horrendous.
It's not. No, it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think that was. No. I'm thinking of something of a different unreleased track that was good, but wasn't that one. Yeah. So we're gonna be covering that posthumous album, but other than that, the main 4. So 5 albums total. First album came out in 1991. Last one, the year of his death, 1996. Last 2 albums, 1996. But I guess we might as well jump into it. You ready?
Oh, I've been ready.
Here we go, baby. This is 1991's Tupacalypse Now.
With what I know about Tupac and an album titled like Tupacalypse Now,
yeah,
I thought this album was gonna come out hard.
Yeah,
this is kind of a traditional, conscious, 90s hip hop album.
It is. Yeah, even the samples are like super dense in a Public Enemy kind of way. Not as, I would say, as well done as Public Enemy. Not even close. But classic. I mean, this is pretty damn solid. I think it's a cool hook. And that's the way he's rapping. This is unrecognizable Tupac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That lets me know they know I can flow. I love when they come to my shows. I get up and go. What's good before when I'm collecting my dough. I know to respect the way that I wreck. The quicker the nigga can wreck, the bigger the check. No, I thought he sweating. What kind of style is that? The style of a Mac. Get ready to jack. I ran through the piles of black. The whack of the black. The file of smack. They hate it when real niggas bust. They hate when I cuss. They threaten to rush. So I had enough of the fuss.
Very speedy.
Very speedy.
What she never really lost.
But it feels fast in a different way here.
Yeah.
All right, so that song is actually pretty short. I mean, that's only 2.5 minutes. This is a very odd debut that I was not really expecting.
I think, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna give this worst least favorite.
Really?
Like,
oh wow, I'm so off with my predictions. Holy crap, I was not expecting that.
This album put me in a bad mood.
Really? So I will agree that it is not great, but there are moments I'm like, all right, that's classic enough hip hop where it's in the era that I kind of love, that this early 90s era, late 80s.
I like that era. I don't like Pac doing it.
It doesn't. I mean, it's a whole different thing. This is basically a separate artist. This doesn't feel like Tupac even a little bit.
Yes, like the next track, Trapped.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this sounds like it could be like a Big Daddy Kane song or a Slick Rick song, if you will.
I don't mind it. It comes in with some some of the goofiest and cheesy bass and drums, but it's catchy. It feels good.
The goofy and cheesy shit is not going anywhere, though.
No. Well, here, it's like corny in a specific way on this album, where it's like later on it gets cheesy in a very like smooth R&B, soulful kind of way. This is in like an early hip hop kind of way.
Yeah. Also, I'm very proud of my ears because on Soldiers, also
Soldier Story,
these all have great spellings.
Yeah.
There's like these chopped and screwed vocals, very like socially conscious Tupac. And then on the samples, I was like, is that Eyez I hear? And I look it up.
Eyez.
It was Eyez.
Indeed.
It's like fucking
felt
good calling that.
Soldier Story, that's the first time and not the last time we get some pitch shifted vocals where they're pitch shifted lower to make them sound lower and not like a ween. You know?
Oh, that's what the when I say chopped and screwed vocals.
Okay.
Because that was the whole thing. You see, Mike, that was the whole thing in Southern hip hop where they slowed the songs down so they sound like this.
Yeah, and well, later on, it's like it's a lot more. Just, I mean, it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, they do it a lot. What other artists do it? Because I don't. None are coming to mind immediately.
I would say, are you familiar with Mike Jones? Still tipping?
Yeah. Okay.
Still tipping on fofos. Wrapped in fofos.
All right. It's coming back to me now. I'm only like remembering it when it's with like lines here and there with like choruses. I don't think of like full verses.
It was more like a mixtape thing where like they take like whole normal length albums and they would just like slow it down because, you know, they're drinking cough syrup. So they want it like,
what?
They want their music to feel like it's on cough syrup.
I get it. Sure.
Yeah. You know, the scissor.
Jesus Christ. But back to Soldier Story. That is the first song where I'm taken out of it. I don't like it. It's like I'm okay with the verses. They're okay, but everything else I can't stand. It's really edgy with the piano. It just seems just feels kind of off to me. There's a lot of songs in here that I don't like at all. I mean, like Words of Wisdom, Something Wicked, neither of those. I mean, and the first time, and not the last, but the first time, I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah.
And that is Brenda's Got a Baby.
That shit is so melodramatic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's the hip hop equivalent of a Lifetime movie. I guess, you know, maybe at the time there weren't really rappers rapping about these more like conscious things.
Yeah.
And like these albums aren't really talked about as much, but they still sold really well. It still like made him a star. But yeah, I can't deal with that. And then also something that like doesn't really go away. Track 9, If My Homie Calls. I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I think a lot of rappers and probably like famous people in general are probably like closeted gay. Yeah. Like Tupac really loves his homies.
Dude, well, so that song is like the example, but then people like, there's like a video out there of him being interviewed when he's 17 and he's insanely flamboyant.
Yeah. Dude, he's got those like his eyes are so, not that
he's got gay eyes. You're right, Alex.
He's a handsome gentleman. I don't care.
He's super charming. Even when I was 17, it's like he's saying some dumbass 17-year-old shit, but he's like, there's something like really charismatic about him. There's something.
I get why he fucks so much.
So do I. Yeah. Good looking man. He's big head. He has big head, but he's a good looking cat.
Yeah.
So he's gay on if my homie calls, but I don't hate the song, honestly. I think it's not bad. It's a little, the pianos are a little ridiculous, but it's not bad.
I had always thought like, I was like, dude, when he talks about the homies, it's a little like, yeah.
It's like the Boondocks episode with Thugalicious.
Yeah. And then I was like,
well, do the homie.
I was like, maybe it's just me. But then there's some other songs later on where it's like, no, this is not a like one-off thing. This is a repeating.
Homies over hoes, man. And that's just the Boondocks reference.
Yeah.
So even though like the lyrics are pretty gnarly, boy do I think Part-Time Mother is horrific and awful.
That
and then we're gonna die just talking all this shit.
That I was already upset because also I skipped over it. Like, even if I want to set aside my reasonings and I want to take Brenda Has a Baby at face value as a serious song, how are you going to follow that up with the Lunatic? There's goofy ass like bells and whistles.
Dude, so I'm okay with the Lunatic. I'm okay with a lot of these songs, honestly. I can't imagine it didn't stick with me very long, but it's got a fine main hook. I think it's cool. It's got a good energy. But overall, the first two albums, but this one a lot. The samples are so fucking clumsy. Like all the beats here, they're just like more like a collage of samples. They're not really. They're almost barely beats. They're almost barely songs because there's so much shit. I mean, like the bells and whistles. I mean, there's literally bells and whistles all over the fucking songs. So it's like
literal. I'm not saying that as a like term.
Yeah, like literal. So there's like bass lines you can grab onto every now and then, but there's a lot of just distracting nonsense.
Also, so yeah, I was in a bad mood, and I had an epiphany that like the reason he's never gonna scratch that itch for me, because to me the ideal version of Tupac is Ghostface Killer. That is my like picture perfect. Like, I believe he's a gangster. I believe he did horrible things, but also he's a big softy and he has a big heart. And like, I like
a big eagle statue too.
Got a big eagle bracelet thing. Gauntlet. Got some diabetes. But like when Ghostface gets emotional and does his crying, like he's on the verge of crying, like I feel that shit. Mm-hmm. When Tupac does it, I'm like, dog. Come on.
Oh man, you're definitely gonna get shot.
So I listened to 2 Ghostface Killer albums after this one because I was like, I need to like cleanse my.
Oh wow.
I need like what like my ideal version of this is, and it's Ghostface. I'm sorry.
So I was definitely not happy by the end of it. I didn't love it. I think it's an okay album overall, but there was still stuff I enjoy. Like, I Don't Give a Fuck is really funky. I don't find it that special, but I get it. Was it Violent is real W. It's got a really solid verse though. The samples in the chorus are annoying as hell, really disjointed. The lyrics are absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's like basically a cartoon about killing cops.
Yeah.
Where it's just a fabricated, really in-depth story, which I find kind of goofy. Crooked Ass N-word is another one that feels really good. That's actually probably I'll probably say my favorite song on the album. Feels real good. I mean, a lot of these gun samples are retarded and they sound like clumsy and just ham-fisted.
I think my favorite thing on this album is I Don't Give a Fuck, just because he says you could suck mine and my Uncle Tommy's balls. Like,
that's a pretty good line.
Like, I've never hated anyone so much where I'm like, suck my balls and my uncle's balls too. Like, that's a level of hatred I'll never know.
That's a level of hatred I don't think I have for anybody. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's rough. It's underdeveloped. Both, because he's still an incredible rapper at this early on, but he obviously hasn't found the voice that he wanted yet. And the beats I find them to be fucking haphazard at best. They're all over the place. They're slap. There's still some cool, catchy stuff on here, but overall, it's like a dude who just discovered how to sample stuff and was having too much fun. Like, he wanted, I want to add all this shit.
Which is crazy because I don't know who Big D the Impossible is, but that's a hilarious name.
It is a hilarious name, and he does most of the production on here.
But there are like some Shock G things, and like Digital Underground was like pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking Humpty Hump, man. Like, that's a banger.
Yeah, not the Tupac that we know and love for fans, I guess.
He also introduces the what's the when you have a word and each letter mean
acronyms.
Also introduces the acronym on here for never ignorant and getting goals accomplished.
Yeah,
it's introduced on this album.
So on the first album.
Yes, he says it on one of the songs. I forgot to know what song it was.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, we're going to return to that acronym in like 2 seconds because we're moving on. But yeah, this debut, Alex's worst and least favorite. I imagine it's not like a beloved. I mean, there's going to be psycho diehard fans for everything.
People love Brenda. They love that song.
Oops, because we don't. I didn't realize how.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
I think even if my homies calls is like
I'm okay with that one. Okay. I get it, but Brenna's got a baby. Jesus Christ. Sorry. But let's move on.
People like it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, next album. Thank Christ, this word is abbreviated. Yeah, just do it. 1993, strictly for my N.I.G.G.A.Z.
Oh yeah, holla if you hear me.
I never heard this song before. This song fucking rules.
It's pretty good, dude. Also, we heard it a second ago. This is where he's just pronouncing me as meh, and that ain't going nowhere. This is a great opener.
Yeah, I was like, this is like that. It's not the Bomb Squad, but like that Bomb Squad production that I want.
So you recognize his shouts, but he's still not rapping the way we know he raps.
His voice is not quite deep enough.
It's getting there, but he's still rapping a completely different way.
He's going through puberty in real time.
Yeah. Feel me. Man. Dude, that sounds like Public Enemy.
Well, it is Public Enemy.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm not just pulling it out of my ass.
The Rebel.
Oh, no shit, yeah.
Even that, like, screeching, like...
Yeah. Because, I mean, but even the style of beat, it's like super old school. I wasn't expecting to feel this old school at 93. Because, like, didn't The Chronic already come out at this point? Was it 91?
Maybe 92, but, like... I think even like The Chronic sounds dated, but not like 80s dated.
No, but it has the G-Funk stuff.
Yeah,
it has like what eventually Tupac would lean more into. So I'm surprised. I'm just surprised at how much it sounds nothing close to that.
Also, to the surprise of me, mostly best personal favorite.
Guess what, Alex? Called it. For you. Called it for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That you call, because like, I had no idea. Really.
I know Alex's taste better than he does.
He does. This album's really good.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Also, what if I told you they made a Broadway show based around Tupac's music called Holler If You Hear Me?
Oh, are you serious?
They, in fact, did in the year 2009. By a rapper I do enjoy, Saul Williams. He like spearheaded, got it made, and I just went down this rabbit hole. I was like, I want to hear what a Broadway production of
Holy shit, that's wild.
And it's crazy because like people hate it. They hated it, and like I found a review with Saul Williams where he's like, I'm not surprised. It's the same thing that happened when hip hop was new. So now he's like, it's this history repeating itself. You have this black art form in a white space, Broadway. Of course, nobody gets it.
Yeah.
And then, like,
the wrong audience.
Hearing him talk about Tupac kind of made me appreciate Tupac in ways I didn't.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I was surprised. This album has some, like in my head, this is, like, maybe not ideally how Tupac sounds. I think he nails it on like a few songs, but like start to finish, nothing feels this good.
Wow. So I will say that I didn't think about it before.
Yeah.
But now that I'm looking at it right now, I swear I'm not being swayed by your words here. Yeah. I think this is probably his best paced album.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I think it's just a good album. I don't love it. But the problems I have here are kind of problems that I have general. Mm-hmm. One, and you could say it about a lot of songs. You could definitely say it about the opener. It's like he never learned how to end a song. Almost,
I think that's fair.
So many songs, they just go on for like a straight minute of just the beat and no lyrics.
He knows how he's gonna tell you off, like how he's gonna start it. He doesn't know how he's gonna end it.
The thing is, it's like his lyrics end, but the beat just keeps going for like over, and sometimes it'll be like a chorus that just repeats itself over and over. It's like, why so much? We just had a 4-minute song. Do you need an extra minute of the same? So there's a lot of that here. There's a lot of that on many albums, but
I feel like that's also this like something like a product of the times. And I will say, I'm surprised Tupac didn't have sketches, which was
the little skits the skits in between. Yeah,
that rappers love their skits back in the day.
I hated skits. I mean, I still hate skits because they just interrupted. That's a good ass point. I never thought about that. There's no skits on any of these albums. Thank God.
Maybe the last one, but like I'll save it. But yeah.
But even like there, it's not like a separate track dedicated to the skit where you can skip it and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I think is like a little bit iffy. I don't care much for Point the Finger.
I like it's like this fuzzy bass with some funk guitars. He's still, I mean, he never gets over his like fuck the police phase.
Yeah.
But it's like a little more like, it's a lot of his personality is like fuck the police.
Yeah. The interludes here, because there's no skits, but there are interludes that are lengthy interludes. The first one is Pac's theme, which I don't like at all.
I kind of like that. Not the like production, but just like
it's very smooth. It is very smooth and sensual.
Already at this point, people are like clutching their pearls over what he's talking about, and he only has one album out. And then so I just think it's like funny like now, because I thought people were like done clutching their pearls over like music, maybe like Marilyn Manson, Eminem. I thought that was like the end of it, but like now we have like Lil Nas X and like
there's always going to be
or like Cardi B, like like it's still going on. So I just kind of found that like interesting. Like here we are, like 20-30 years later, still
repeating ourselves over and over again. Was it legendary enough on its own. Last Words, you got both Ices on there, Ice-T and Ice Cube.
Not only that, I don't know if you saw, so we're loaded up on rappers, and then we got Jam, Master J making the beat. So it's like,
oh, is that why it's good?
Star-studded front to back. And you are a man who likes his 90s Run DMC.
I indeed am, and I do like that song quite a bit. I even like the interlude before that, Something to Die For. It's a fucking 2 minute 43 second interlude, but it's nice.
That song's fucking crazy to me. It's like new age stuff.
Oh, it's insanely sexual, but I'm okay with it.
Imagine like a whole album of this, like those new age beats and this like.
Oh Jesus Christ! There's a kind of a sequel to Soulja Story, Soulja's Revenge here. I like it a lot more than Soulja Story. More
of a like traditional James Brown sample there, but it's grimy. You got the like demonic slowed down vocals.
Yep. So I mean, I feel this very strongly that this is a real backloaded album. So the first half, I'm like, oh, I'm in and out. I don't like Peep Game at all. I don't like Struggling.
I don't like Peep Game, but I'm gonna say you're wrong on Struggling.
Oh,
because the way they sing it just gets fucking like, I just want to be like straight struggling.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
I went more Jonathan Davis, but like
a little bit Jonathan Davis.
The way the way they say it just gets like struggling. Like if this gets stuck in my head, it's fucking.
But after that,
also he does say he's gonna get in someone's ass in that song. So.
Oh, fun. No, nice. Good time.
Stay away from that guy.
Oh, indeed. But pretty much every song after that, I either like a lot or I'm okay with. Yeah. I'm not blown away by Guess Who's Back, but I don't mind it. I like the really good, memorable hook for Represent 93. Keep Your Head Up is real smooth and melodic.
I can see why people on the West Coast gravitate towards that song and why that song is like, seems to be the most memorable track.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really fucking cool.
Also,
I like it a lot.
This like begins his like conflicting viewpoints where, you know, there's very much like, again, I don't like know what was going on in pop culture at the time, but like is very like strong feminist verse on there, like shouting out to women, but then he'd eventually like fall into these traps.
Indeed, he did. Go ahead.
Fucking title track.
Yep.
You got
strong bass line.
Yep. You got the ESG sample on there, so that's one of my favorite. It's dark, seedy, like oddly psychedelic samples.
It's a weird one because now we've grown accustomed to a certain style of production for hip hop where you know you have to. It's really hard to produce hip hop vocals, and here. I don't want to say that they were still experimenting, but a little bit because there's so much reverb on the vocals on the title track. And that's not something you really hear a lot with hip hop. We've kind of like learned that it's not flattering to that style.
Yeah.
It's also 6 minutes. And I feel like it overstays its welcome pretty bad.
Probably could be shorter.
Yeah. I mean, that's a
lot of things could.
Yeah. I think my favorite song, it's really between Keep Your Head Up or, I Get Around, because I Get Around. I mean, it's smooth and sexual, but boy, is that a great fucking hook.
Let me tell you, I Get Around was the song going in I thought I didn't like, but I like it.
It's great.
It's a song about throwing your dick around town. We got Shock G on there. And again,
I mean, at that point, I was like, that's one of the fucking best songs ever.
And again, I get why, that like resonates more. Like the two singles, your two favorite, which is surprising. Mike's usually not a singlesman, but here I get why like the West Coast like gravitates towards those songs. It's like laid back, easy going. It's about throwing your dick around town.
Sure is. Papa Song, another good main bass line of that one. I don't love the sung vocals in the chorus very much, but it's not bad.
Also he does what like every kid who grew up with the dad feels like doing, and you're just like, fuck you.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah,
that's what the song is.
Yeah,
it's like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The closer, Five Deadly Venoms. It's a weird juxtaposition between this really fun, bouncy main bass line with these harsh lyrics and police sirens. It's like it's a strange combination, but not bad.
I thought that'd go harder. I also thought it was like just the Wu-Tang Clan that liked Five Deadly Venoms, but apparently rappers love that movie. It's a good movie.
I've never seen it. I don't know.
It's a good ass movie, Mike.
All right.
You know why? And was it Ghostface or ODB? They were saying they think it resonates because it's like a movie about brotherhood.
Oh, interesting. Huh. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's probably streaming somewhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, is it a kung fu movie?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. I was like, there's got to be a kung fu movie. And
yeah. Oh, so I love my kung fu movies. I'm so like lost in the sauce. I would think just by the name, like people.
I would imagine so. I hope so. I mean, just the reference of anybody from Wu-Tang, I imagine it's a kung fu movie. But like, even though I think this is like a significantly better album than the first one and the best paced, there's still a lot of it that just drags on. I think the pacing up front is rough. It exhausted me pretty bad. I don't love it. I'm probably not going to come back to this one. But there's stuff on here that I will give it up for sure.
I might, maybe with strong chance I'll come back to this.
Strong chance. That's a big praise for someone who came in not liking Tupac at all.
And that's more than I could say for any other album.
So tune out now. But Alex's best and personal favorite. And well, we got plenty more famous things to talk about.
Yeah.
So, did anything happen around I mean, we didn't mention
probably lots of things.
Thing is, you mentioned it at the end of the first album, but Tom here words it in a way that made me laugh because the acronym for the N word here is like never ignorant in getting goals accomplished, but it's also pluralized. So like, how do you pluralize that?
You don't worry about that.
Never ignorant in getting goals accomplished. This is, and this is also everything was co-produced by Tupac on this album. So he had his fingers in pretty much everything here.
Oh, he's got his fingers in lots of things.
Oh, indeed he does. But it's time to move on. So let's do it. And we're about to hear a little bit of a transformation, everybody. This is 1995's Me Against the World.
A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once.
I forgot this was here.
You niggas don't really know that.
They say pussy and paper is poetry, power and pistols. Plotting on murder, motherfuckers before they get you.
Sorry, that's Big Ned's clipping.
Niggas copping, please, puffing
I feel like that happened when he did it.
Oh.
My enemies scatter in suicidal situations.
Now he's Tupac.
Now he's Tupac.
Now he's Tupac.
He's finally no longer a Charmander.
He has evolved.
Bitches is bad mouth, cause ballin' motherfuckers is born.
Also, his voice is produced real well. I mean, it is front and center, clear and crisp.
I would say his voice sounds real good on this album.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
It's the song quality.
I
I like this song quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you still got Vince.
Oh yeah, of course. I do like that sample too. And also, these samples also feel way more like, all right, let's reel it back. Let's just make it a little bit groovy. All right, we're not gonna throw the fucking kitchen sink at it.
Yeah.
A little bit more paste.
Relaxing more into the West Coast.
Yeah. Boy, is this flow great. God damn, he sounds good. So I totally get why people latch on to his rapping, because I mean, he sounds amazing there. This album is a weird one.
Oh, it's weird
because he has some of his most poetic, deepest lyrics on here. And I thought he was going to keep going in this direction. He doesn't later on, but up front, I was like, this is great. This is really good stuff. And then after track 6, it becomes awful.
I'm in hell.
I mean, it hurt. It hurt so bad.
I'm in hell from here on out.
I mean, I don't like the title track at all. And it's track 3. I mean, the soulful female vocals, the cheesy saxophones. I mean, Jesus Christ. Really decent bass line, and he has really good flow. He sounds great.
I like the guitar samples on it.
It's not bad. I'm not going to say it's bad.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. But other things like, obviously, If I Die Tonight, I think is great. Too Many Tears. I think it's pretty great. I think it's pretty.
You like that?
I think it's pretty good, dude. I like it.
Let me tell you where that song lost me. That fucking Stevie Wonder sample.
Which one? Oh, that dude. So, what's the big deal?
It's so goofy. It works.
Yeah, it's goofy, but so what? It's fun.
It works on Stevie Wonder. But he's like talking about crying and shit.
I think it's all right. I think it's pretty good. I like it.
Unintentionally funny song with that Stevie Wonder sample.
Temptation feels awesome. I absolutely love the bass lines on those. And then Young N-Words. Dude, such a great bass line. It's the most West Coast sounding shit ever. I will give you that.
It's too smooth for me.
I know. It's really smooth. It's super West Coast. But good textures, good samples, great vocals. It's a bit long, but I like it a whole lot. And then Heavy in the Game comes on, and it is the most West Coast sounding thing in the world.
Super heavy P-Funk samples. But someone says the word Bumbaclot on it. So.
Yeah. The female vocals on here really make me cringe. I don't like the bass line at all. I don't like it. Lord knows I am out. Dear Mama, which is famous. It's a little bit on the cringy side musically. It's a little sweet, but I get it. I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it.
It was a song I like, whatever, but I never really listened to the lyrics. And then I was like, you know what? I do appreciate that it's a more candid look. It's not just like my mom's the best.
No,
it's just like this woman had some problems, but I'm glad that she raised me.
That she raised me.
Meh.
I mean, him saying meh on that song is the most distracting, hilarious thing. I mean, I
used to be a little baby.
I had to say meh instead of me from now on. I can't not. It's too catchy. But I did like it. After that, it becomes a real slog. It ain't easy. Ain't working for me at all. Can You Get Away is not working for me at all.
That song.
I hate it, actually.
That song's fucking crazy. I don't know if you were paying attention to the lyrics on that one.
I was not.
It's fucking crazy. First of all, there's a part where he says, ain't about...
Oh, I was playing... Yeah.
Ain't about no sucking and touching, which sounds funny
sucking
to me.
And touching.
But this woman's in an abusive relationship, and he's like sleeping with her on the side, and fellas, don't do that.
Don't.
She's already working through some things.
I'm not even going to get involved in that one.
But, Tupac's not a man who's shy of
He's a man of passion.
He will throw that. He told you he gets around.
He told you.
He told you.
On that song the female vocals, the singing parts, they are straight up flat. It's so distracting. I think it's pretty brutal. Old school. I'm okay with that recurring sample, but man, it's just long and it's rough.
That's my favorite song on the album.
Really?
I was surprised the production is more like a De La Soul type production, and it works for Tupac. Like if the first album was more like that type of production, I'd have different feelings about it.
Interesting. I do think it goes on egregiously long. I mean, we're back to the same thing of like, instead of ending the song, they just repeat the fucking chorus or verse for like another extra minute.
I guess like it is kind of shallow. He's just shouting out rappers he likes, which is a pretty common thing. But yeah, it also, that's one of the songs where I'm like, oh, this whole like East Coast, West Coast thing is like pure fabricated bullshit. Otherwise, he wouldn't have recorded that song.
Yeah.
Because he's just talking about like how awesome like that golden era hip hop is.
Yeah.
And like, Brooklyn and stuff like that.
I mean, he shouts out. I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of shouting out of East Coast stuff for a while, talking about his roots, and then it becomes West Side. Pretty hardcore.
But even when it becomes West Side, we still get little special guest appearances. And then the producer Johnny J, he's the Mexican producer. So
okay, yeah, he's on Death Row on the Corner, which is, I'm okay with that one. It's like, it's a little less smooth, a little bit more mean. It's still just okay, but I'm grateful for the change at that point of the album. I'm just like, okay, I can grab this a little bit.
I wonder what it was where like, because a lot of these producers don't really work with Pac again.
Yeah.
I wonder what it was about Johnny J where he's like, we're bringing you back.
Yeah.
Because he's featured pretty prominently on the next one.
One of my favorite things in the world to quote and make fun of is Outlaw, because it's the closer. I like the song. I think it has a great bass line, has a good feel to it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit smooth and West Coast sounding for sure, but I think it's a cool song. The fucking vocals on the chorus, dude. Outlaw. I mean, holy balls, dude. I've never heard anything like it.
Well, I'm assuming people knew it was a problem because like after this, they have like Casey and JoJo money, which is funny to me, but
I don't know that. I don't even know what that means.
You don't know who Casey and JoJo are?
I don't think I do.
God, no, you fucking know.
Do I?
Precious than you, more precious than you, the girl you are. Close to me, you like my mother.
I definitely don't like this.
You're like my father. Close to me, you like my
Oh, I don't like this. Oh, please end it. Turn it off. Oh, God. Please.
You gotta get to the main chorus.
Oh,
you never heard this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, Jesus. That is not my bag.
All right. It's not really mine either, but
but yeah, this one, it is it starts out real strong for me with some of his best production, some of my favorite songs of his, and then fizzles out really hardcore.
I knew I was in trouble more so than when I started because this is considered one of his best albums.
Jesus, man. Like the songs that land, I fucking love, man. But so many of them, it's just, it hurts.
Beloved album.
And I get like, even lyrically, I get why this would be pretty beloved too. Like I think he's pretty thoughtful on here, but Jesus Christ. Anyway, Tom notes here that Easy Mo B also, who produced parts of this, he was on this album. He also produced Ready to Die, Biggie.
There we go.
And Tom says, so for anyone worried that all this gang thug behavior might escalate, don't worry. Mo will straighten everything out. I'm sure everything's going to be just fine.
Mo, Jam Master Jay, Method Man, Redman, where were you guys? You guys were like bridges.
That's right.
No, that's not their responsibility. I'm just.
Yeah, well, it would have been nice.
I really just think it was a Pac and Biggie thing.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's another party involved that's heavily involved, whose name I will not mention because...
Is it the woman who killed Salinas?
Yes, it is Yolanda. It is Yolanda, the murderer, Selena murderer. That's who I'm thinking of.
Every album ever, Selena.
God, please don't make us do that one.
Bitty Bitty Bomb Bomb.
Oh, boy.
I'm only going to get into it because he talks about it so much.
Yeah.
But between this album and the next album,
right.
Your boy's doing jail time.
Yes, he is. And suddenly he becomes die-hard, ride or die. He sometimes literally. Also, last thing about this album, no, George Clinton's on here.
Yes, I think he's
on Temptations.
I forget where I noticed him. He sounded,
which is a great song, I believe.
Yeah, he sounded. I was listening to him. I was like, he almost sounds like a parody of himself.
Well, if you look at the man, he's a parody of a lot of things. Also, the man is a cartoon character.
He is. Also, like, there's just something like, I don't mean it like as an insult. There's just something like cartoony and fun about like Parliament and Funkadelic.
Look at them. They're dressed like cartoon characters.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love Bootsy's voice though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Bootsy, baby.
It's pretty sweet. But also, go ahead. You also first.
So he's also shot at 5 times.
Yes, indeed.
He'd marry his girlfriend.
Yep.
And while in jail.
Yep.
After 9 months.
Alex, you're gonna see on screen what Alex is looking at right now. Tom put this in our notes, and Alex, I caught him off guard with it.
This is the worst time you could have shown me that picture right now.
Sorry, but it worked out pretty good. Go on, I'm sorry.
So after 9 months,
yeah,
Big Suge Knight comes knocking.
Yep. Yes, he does.
He goes,
we don't like talk about him.
He goes, I'll bail you out.
Yep. And it was like how many million for bail?
I for millions of dollars.
It was a lot of bail.
Pennies these days.
95 money, 96 money.
Well, because
not 96. What am I talking about? 94, 95.
He was supposed to do years.
Oh,
this was
man.
like rape, drugs, the sodomy, guns, like everything.
That's a lot of stuff.
But the rape's the worst part. Anyways,
that's pretty bad.
So the deal was, I'll get you out, but you owe me 3 albums. And this dumb motherfucker gave him a double album. If I owed someone.
Oh man, I mean, he had plenty of songs.
I like, no, we're splitting. I'm not doing a double album.
At least split the next album, which is 2 hours. We've covered a lot of double albums. Now, a double album doesn't mean 2 hours. A double album usually means an hour and a half at most. We got 2 hours, baby. But you know what that means. We're going to do that. Before we move on, at this point, he's on death row, of course, but also on Interscope. And Tom pointed out, where was that Primus collab?
Oh, Interscope had like, it kind of makes sense. They were like the front runners for like signing a lot of new metal bands. Cause like they had cool rappers. And then I think they had they had some cool rock acts. So it makes sense that they would be like this, combining these two things is the future.
Fair enough.
I wonder, like, what was his Ross Robinson?
Yeah, I believe
he probably just lived at the Interscope studio.
Probably. The man was busy.
He probably slept there. They're like, we got 10 white boys with turntables coming in right now. You can't go home.
Can't go home. You got to produce Limp Bizkit.
But Korn, Slipknot, At the Drive-In,
man.
Blood
Brothers. All right.
Not even new metal,
but whatever. But now we're on to the big one, everybody. The big old giant, big time famous album. We all know it, sort of. But here we go. 1996's All Eyez on Me.
I won't deny it. I'm a straight ride.
When I think of Tupac, I think of songs like this.
Yep. And I think of him saying, ride it.
Ride up. What a like, kind of like vague slang. Like, I'm just gonna call myself a rider.
Rider. Man, this is smooth as hell.
Also, so glad the producer on this song changed his name because
wow, that N-word Daz.
Hold on, I forgot what he goes by now.
Now this is that flow, that Tupac flow. I mean, he did it on the last album a lot, but he sounds so good here.
It's a little more menacing, which
but like the way his words, like the way they connect is so interesting.
It's almost like the words don't have to rhyme if he has the right inflection.
Yeah, it's almost like he has his own dialect of English, the way he's connecting his words.
Like you could do it in like that Sims language, and it's still.
Man,
so
the way he says "right" is so.
So now
so
that producer goes by Daz Dillinger.
Daz Dillinger. I can't even speak. I said it like I had fucking brain lapse. Best personal favorite, and let me explain.
Wow.
Let me explain.
Yes,
because this is a 2-hour-long album that I think is extremely overrated. That has an entire second half an entire second disc that I think could be skipped entirely.
Yes,
the first disc has some of the, I think, the best hip hop songs fucking ever.
If it was one disc, I would have, or one book,
one
mic. I would have given it best.
The songs that are good are so good. They're so good.
This too comes on.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so upsetting.
There's nothing. Well, I shouldn't say very little redeeming. Like it's so forgettable. It's so bland. Yeah. Like they put all the guests you want to hear on the front.
Yeah.
Fucking George Clinton and E40 got stuck in the back. Yeah. I guess corrupt, but like, you know, you want to hear the Red Man, you want to hear Method Man, you want to hear Casey and JoJo, and you want to hear Snoop and Dre. And they're all here. They're all here.
Yep.
Also, because I'm already like dug myself a fucking grave here, I don't really like Nate Dogg either.
Even I've been on board with your hatred. I can't get behind that hatred.
That's fine.
I love me some Nate Dogg.
You love you some.
I love it. He's smooth and he seems like he was always on someone's good side. He just seemed like he was a hard guy to hate.
He probably had some solo albums, but this man's so clever, he didn't need solo albums. He's the guy who can sing.
He's the singer. He's just the singing guy.
He's just a featured act, and that's how he made his bread and butter.
And I think he did it well because also, I gotta say, man, what was it? Is it? Yeah, All About You. That's the one I'm thinking of, right? With the hose who keeps showing up in the same music videos.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's so good.
Everywhere I go, I see the same hose.
Dude, it's so great. It's so catchy. It's the funnest thing ever. I love it.
Also,
I love it.
A fun thing to do. And not just that song, any Nate Dogg song where he sings about hoes, you replace it with chodes. It's a funnier song.
That's not bad. Scandalous is a great main hook to that one. Even though Nate Dogg's chorus is relatively minimal, but I dig it.
It's more of I'll admit this is more of a me thing. I'm like, why are you giving me 2 Nate Dogg songs in a row?
I got no problem with 2 Nate Dogg songs in a row. Give me 3 in a row.
Oh man, there's like these extra frills on that song that makes it like funny.
Oh man, I think the sample game is pretty great on this album too. But got my mind made up.
Oh, real quick, Scandalous.
Yeah.
In and out 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
and I think it shows.
I mean,
they made that song in 10 minutes.
Did they?
I read all these quotes about this album that like Tupac got out of jail, which was in New York, plane straight to the recording studio, and I was like, they're probably just like talking him up, you know, this legend. But then I was like, he didn't live that long. He probably actually
literally went
straight to the fucking studio.
Holy crap. Got my mind made up. There we go. We got Method Man and Redman on there.
Dude, that song's fucked up because it was I love that song because it feels more like,
I mean, it's the darkest thing he's done by far.
And yeah, it feels more in line with like Method Man. It's like mellow and chill without like the cheesy.
No, it's eerie. It's eerie and catchy.
So that song's fucked up. So that song was originally made for this woman, the Lady of Rage. Same exact song. Like Method Man said that's what him and Redman did the track for. They kind of like forgot about it. And then he heard the song on the radio. He's like, oh, whatever. They gave the beat to like Pac. And then he heard his verse and he's like, they didn't even tell me.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, he never got a plaque.
Whoa, that sucks.
He's not like angry because it'd be stupid to be angry about it.
It's still not the credit, but at least he got some credit. But
yeah, I just feel bad for the what's her name?
Oh yeah,
the Lady of Rage. She's doing this song with Method and Redman. She's like probably like, I'm gonna blow up, and they're like, actually,
we're gonna use it for this guy.
We're not just giving Pac the beat; we're giving him the fucking verses too.
Yeah, that's
could have bought her on for a track or something.
Yeah, something. It is a good song. I do like the song quite a bit.
It's a good ass song. Yeah. I just thought that story was like,
that's brutal. I didn't know that.
Sorry. This like went down a rabbit hole with this song. If you notice, like Method Man has a part that's like censored.
Oh, I don't remember.
He has a part that's censored.
Wait, yes.
And the line is,
yeah.
like Hitler sticking up Jews with Lugers. Jews and Lugers both censored.
That's what's censored.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know why?
Fucking, I don't know. Because they're talking about scandalous, no pun intended, scandalous shit.
Yeah.
And it's just so like crazy. Like, Ice Cube has a song called fucking Black Korea that's pretty fucking racist. But
selective racism, it seems to be the thing.
But like someone, I don't think it was like Method Man or Pac, but someone somewhere was like, we got to get rid of that line.
Interesting. Yeah, that's wild.
And I was just like, man, there's a lot of information on this one song.
No kidding.
Sorry, I just found those the most fascinating.
That is pretty fascinating. Now this is where I have to just like drop my gloves. You said just all right. I'm gonna no more. I have to admit it. How Do You Want It is one of the best fucking songs in the world.
Bitch, how do you want
it? It is so good. When I'm listening to the first time, like, because I've heard it before in passing, but I never really like sat down and digested it. I'm listening to it, I'm like, it's good. It's good. And then as the song's going, I'm like, yeah, it's real good. And by the end of it, I'm like, it's so fucking good. I can't stop fucking listening to it.
I assume every cholo ever has had sex to that song.
Dude, I want to every day now. It's too good. It's unbelievably catchy in every possible way. The production is so chunky and fucking crisp, and it's a really fat production.
My favorite part is when Casey and JoJo start like ad-libbing in the background, just going off like,
yeah. So much of that. There's a lot of that.
Like a yarling thing.
You did a yarling thing. There's so
that's
much.
Where my voice is
the amount of soulful vocals on this album it's a lot, and it's pretty overwhelming. And even on that song, and I love that song so much, they are a bit much on that song.
I think it adds. As someone who doesn't really like that, I think it adds to it.
It's such a great that chorus is such a brilliant melodic, brilliant vocal line.
That's Johnny J with the production there.
It's so good, and Tupac's flow is fucking immaculate. Every word sounds so fucking satisfying. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And then after that, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm on board. I'm fucking on board. And then you get two of America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, one for the ladies and then one for the fellas.
It's great also. I mean, you got, of course, Snoop Dogg on there.
It goes hard. You know what is funny about Tupac's vernacular? I want to know if anyone's calling women hoochies still.
I don't think so. I think it's a lost art.
We're going to bring it back. Got the hoochie screaming.
Yeah, it's like real mean. It's borderline sinister. It's really satisfying. Really feels fucking awesome.
Also, was it? I forget who said this. I should have wrote it down. I think it was Daz, the guy who produced it. He's like, he said Snoop and Pac didn't even know each other, and like Snoop just beat like a murder charge.
Yep.
Which that one I'm a little more questionable at what happened there, but
sure. It's all just opinions, you know.
And he's like, they were just standing around, and like Suge walks in the room, and he's a big fucking dude for some reason, and he this grabbed Snoop with his left, grabbed Pac with his right, and like smushed them together. And he's like, I think you two would make a real good song together. And that's how this song happened.
That is the most threatening fucking shit I've ever. I mean, that guy is just pure intimidation. I'm
going to assume he was smoking a cigar because that's just how I picture him.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Also, like, man, someone who beat a murder charge, and then someone who you just like physically grabbed them and told them like, you two are going to be friends and you're going to fucking like it. Like,
it's almost like he was a scary fucking guy. Yeah. Jesus Christ. After that we get so I like No More Pain, but I hear the stuff that it influenced. I hear that early 2000s shit in there. I like it, but I can tell what it inspired.
Yeah, I like the like darker feel, and like I like the, you know, more Method Man influence in there. Although it is embarrassing when he says real misters don't die, because
well, yeah, I mean, maybe not in spirit, but they sure do physically.
I got some bad news for you, Mr. Pac.
Indeed.
But maybe he means the acronym.
Maybe. So after that point, the album kind of takes a dip, and I kind of lose it for the last chunk of the first half. I like Only God Can Judge Me. It's fine. I think it's a pretty good song. I
thought I was going to hate that song. I actually like it.
It's a good song. It's a really strong bass line. This is beeping. It's obviously a reference to the lyrics. It comes in around 1:30, a minute 30. This really, really obnoxious. It's supposed to simulate like a life support beeping, but it's so loud, and it's produced or mixed really weird. But other than that, it's a great song.
Guess what?
What's that?
I'm judging him. And there's nothing he can do.
I guess we can all judge him.
You know what made me? Also, I think it got me because the robot vocals. I was like, does Tupac think God is a robot? I hope so. I like the line, because even thugs cry, but does the Lord care? I laugh so fucking hard. Like,
thugs cry. Everybody cries a little bit.
Lord, won't you think about the thugs for once?
God, come on, please think about the thugs. Yeah, the end of the first what?
Sorry, another interesting story. The featured rapper on, and this is another reason I think I like it. Crazy name. This is called Rappin' Forte. Which when I say it out loud sounds real.
What the hell? Oh yeah, Forte. The number 4-TAY.
This man is 100% a pimp. So
is he now with the name like Rappin' Forte?
So I think this is the only reason he's on this album is because when Tupac was in Rikers, this man claims he sent women to see him.
What a good dude.
Yeah. So holy shit.
So the end of the first disc, it gets pretty rough. And then at the very end, we get California Love, which is a huge song that I do not like. I never liked it.
The original's fun, but this is like the remix. This is not like the version people like.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's this, like, I don't know. There's no reason to listen to the original. There's like nothing cool here. I do want to know how like Pasadena got a shout out on that song.
My favorite part of LA. It's good. It's a good city.
They do Bay Area. They do parts of LA, not San Diego, but Pasadena.
I think it deserves it. But for the outro of that song is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, first of all, it never ends.
It's the longest song.
It goes on and on and on with I mean, it's just them repeating the chorus, but it gets wacky, dude. It gets wacky.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I ain't mad at you. I'm cool with that one. It's real sexual and smooth, but I think it's very strong. I like it a lot.
Mike.
Yes.
I got some news for you.
What's that?
This song is not sexual.
I mean, I'm talking about the sound. I'm talking about the music aspect. I'm not talking about lyrically.
I always thought it was sexual. I thought it was always about like breaking up with your girl.
Yeah.
Maybe you did some stupid things. I ain't mad at you though. He's talking about his friend who has gone straight lace and is like a Muslim now. And I'm just like, buddy.
I ain't mad at you.
Buddy, I don't think you should record a song about your friend.
It's a shame that he went on the straight and narrow, cleaned up his act a little bit. Musically, it's weirdly sexual, though, is it not?
It's so sexual. That's why I said the thing earlier. I always thought it was.
I ain't mad at it.
I always thought, whatever. You do you. Yeah. And then the funniest track of all time.
What's your phone number?
Which phone number?
Yep.
Holy fuck. I can't believe that's a real song.
And it's the closer of the first disc.
I was like, ain't no way. How have I heard all these Tupac songs? No one's ever been like, have you heard What's Your Phone?
It's a weird one. It is a weird one. I think it's a pretty bad closer, at least for the first half.
It's objectively a bad song.
I don't think it's good at all. But I don't think it's the worst thing. But it is a strange song.
It's insane. It's bonkers. Johnny J's like, I just gave you like 10 hits, Tupac. You're going to let me do my passion project. You're going to have to rap over this fucking kooky, nutty shit.
Pretty nutty. But that's not even all the weird shit on the first half. Like, there's plenty of stuff I don't like on it. Like, Life Goes On. I mean, it's like Disney Tupac. It's so sweet. It's so cheesy. It's super corny. Those backup vocals I find to be pretty horrific. Trading War Stories. I mean, it's not horrible, but it just goes on a while. And so even though I think this first half is like that, this first disc, best, hands down. Even then, there's still moments where I'm like, fuck, all right.
Sure, it's sketchy, but the highs are real high.
The highs are insanely high. It's so good. And then we get to disc 2, and it opens up with Can't See Me, which is literally just Fuck with Dre Day.
And it's with George Clinton, yeah.
But, I mean, Dr. Dre produced it, but it's like, oh, did he produce it? Really? It sounds like just like the opening song on the Chronic. I mean, it's redundant. And then you get Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, which has, I'm going to tell you, almost the exact same bass line as Can't See Me, just in a different key. It's saying that it's back to back. So,
Shorty Wanna Be a Thug is one of the highlights of disc 2. And for me, I can't I don't fucking listen to him anymore, but like Kanye reused it more efficiently, in my opinion, in his song Drive Slow. Like back in the day, I wasn't listening to Kanye, and there was something about Drive Slow where I'm like, I think I'm going to give him a try.
That one hooked you.
It hooked me. And I just think like all my issues with it here, he's just like smoothed out and like made better.
It is. There's something really like, there's like fat. I mean, I'm not just saying there's fat because it's a 2-hour album, and the first disc alone was 70 minutes. I'm saying like even the songs, it's like, did that need to be did that need to be fucking 5 minutes? Like did none of it needs, every song is like 5, sometimes 6 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, it just doesn't need it. Holla at Me, can't stand it. I mean, I hate it.
It's also, I don't know how long that like New Jack Swing sound, which is like very prominent on that song. I thought it was like dead. It had to be on its last legs here, though. But
whenever they call you bitch, it's more G-Funk smoothness. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Like it has some of the better samples from disc 2. It's a bit much, but it's not awful.
That song made me laugh because he's just like very angry, but I'm like, sounds like the Rugrats theme, but like G-Funk.
Shout out to Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo. Check out the episode.
Yeah, I realized he's like a hip hop Taylor Swift, where he's just like rapping about like it's too specific to his life.
Interesting.
But apparently, people love Tupac and Taylor Swift.
People relate to Taylor Swift. I don't know how, but people do.
I thought you were reacting about how awful her 10-minute song is.
Overreacting?
Oh yeah, I thought you were overreacting, and then I listened to it. I was like, "Motherfucker's right."
It's insane.
It's way too specific. She's like, it was like 2:30.
Yeah.
On October 3rd, we were in the Starbucks on the corner of Ventura. I'm like, why do we need to know this?
It's nonsense. It's fucking But, oh, Jesus Christ. So there's a lot of stuff that I gave a pass to on disc 2. It's like, I don't like it. I fucking absolutely never going to come back to it. But there's something there that I think someone could grab onto, like Thug Passion. The female vocals there are super rough and they're pretty hilarious, honestly.
It is really funny because she says,
"Got me dripping wet."
Yeah, she says, "Give me your Thug Passion." I'm like, is Thug Passion jizz?
Maybe.
Also, her name's Jewel with a double L, but I want the same song, same lyrics.
By the other Jewel.
Yes.
Fair enough.
That'd be a way better song.
Basically, every song here, they just repeat the chorus for like a full minute at the end after the verse, after the main lyrics, and
it's bad.
It's pretty offensive. But
I took a break. I knew I needed it. I took a break between albums.
I know how I usually don't for like big giant albums. I usually just mainline it.
If I'm having
breaks here,
if I'm having a good time, I'll mainline it, or like if I'm like in a work court. But I was like, I need to try to set my feelings aside. And even though Tupac wouldn't want that, he'd be like, no, it's all about your feelings.
I took a break as well. I usually don't with big albums, but I took a break. And even then the second disc is noticeably not great compared to the first.
This is like, if we did our overrated album list, like this is 10,000% making on my list.
It would,
now.
For sure. But there's still stuff that I kind of get. Checkout time, again, drags on. Holy shit, end the song already. But fuck, it's not that. It's not bad. Rather be your N-word. Extremely G-Funk, sure, but not too bad. Not too bad.
Imagine me doing that song at karaoke.
I would like to. I would like to hear that.
I like when he says, "You need a thug in your life because Busters ain't treating you right."
Really, it's just a bunch of Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is
Busta Rhymes.
Hell yeah. Tupac sounds absolutely fucking great on the title track. It's one of the better songs on here. 100% on this too. 100%.
But also, I was just like, I should have looked this up. I'm sorry. Someone correct me and be nice, but maybe don't. I think Nas did that beat first, so I'm like, it's a highlight, but I'm like, Nas did it first, I think.
Oh, did he? Man, interesting.
That sample.
It's still pretty good. I would have liked it on the first disc. I would probably swapped it out for something on the first disc. It's a good song.
Also, this man, Big Psych, his flow's hilarious. There's just something about it. I'm sorry, you're goofy.
All right, fair enough. And I actually do like the main hook to Ain't Hard to Find. I'm not like super jazzed about it, but at this point, I'm so discouraged for disc 2 that I'm like grasping at straws.
I was like excited to hear E40, but I was so beaten down. I was like, even E40 can't save this.
Which one of these motherfuckers is the dude over enunciating? I mean, it's funny.
There's too many people on there. I will say E40 sounds like a little more bubbly, and he's like real fast though. So it's probably not him.
Yeah.
I like how all these guys have abbreviated. You got B legit.
Yeah, D shot, E40.
SIBO.
Jesus Christ. It closes with Heaven Ain't Hard to Find, which is more or less the same. I don't hate it. I'm just tired.
Shout out to Quincy Jones.
Right on. But I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think Pac sounds fucking amazing on almost every song. I think he sounds incredible.
His voice
is amazing. He sounds so good.
He should sound like that on every. Yeah.
Thing is, it's just the beats that I'm like, fuck, man. I'm so worn out with these hooks but I think he's doing. I mean, he is at the top of his fucking game here, and so even though I personally can only tolerate the first disc, I will give it up that he is at the fucking peak here. He sounds so good here, and there's plenty of really smooth G-funk sounding stuff on here. There's really a lot of soulful stuff on here. Not my bag. It's not for me. It's not made for me. I'm not gonna somehow start liking this late in life. But for people that do, it doesn't get any better than this. He sounds fucking amazing, and the songs that and especially the songs that are exceptional are exceptional.
If this 2 didn't exist,
I would say it can be skipped entirely. maybe just the title track,
Shorty, and the title track.
Yeah, but yeah, way too long is a massive understatement. Like the first disc is like, I mean, really some of the best.
Also, you owe this big intimidating man 3 albums. Just cut this shit in half.
Really, seriously, but yeah. Best and my personal favorite. I'm going to return to a lot of this because of how good I love it. I mean, I fucking absolutely love this stuff.
Wow.
It's just I'm not gonna listen to the whole thing. I can't do it. But the stuff that lands, I mean, like I said at the top, I don't think he's an album guy, but you pick out the singles, you pick out the hits.
You pick up a greatest hits album.
Yep. It's
the way everyone does.
The way everyone talked to me growing up. The reason no one gave me one album to check out is because, they're not that consistent.
Although, like, if you're like me and you're a little, like, nerdy about your hip hop, like, strictly for, I think that's a notable, like, if someone had showed me that, I would be like, okay.
Yeah. There's plenty of stuff that if I was shown first, I would have been way more like, I think, jazzed. But now he died. And the details of his death, Tom sent us some very thorough notes here. Like, I mean, the whole build up, it's insane. I don't know how much you want to go into how he died.
I mean, we
do kind of know.
Yeah.
I mean, he came back from the Tyson fight.
Yep.
Car pulled up to his right, car pulled to his left. On the left were girls. They were distracted by the girls. Car on the right unloaded 13 rounds. Pac was shot in the thigh, and it ricocheted. He was shot multiple times, but it ricocheted and it hit his lung.
This was in Vegas, right?
Yes, I believe so. And then Suge got shrapnel in the head, and he was in a coma for a while. He didn't die immediately. Yeah, pervasive internal bleeding after several operations, and they couldn't stop the bleeding. His mom agreed to like take him off life support, and yeah, that was it. And then because people be ruthless, his contract wasn't up, baby. He had some more albums left to go.
Two more.
Yeah, 2 more albums.
He owes Suge Knight.
He owes 2 albums. Hey, a contract is a contract, buddy.
Mr. Suge, my son is dead. I don't care, lady.
The law is the law. The contract stands.
Imagine if Suge Knight had that fucking Coachella technology that they had now, where they brought him back to life for one night.
Oh my God.
He would have ran that shit into the fucking ground.
Of course. Absolutely. Oh man, I can't believe that actually happened.
Where were you when they? Also, I forget what song it is. I think it's very fun. For some reason, he says the only thing I'm scared of is resurrection. I'm like, dude, he told you guys.
He told you, don't do it, please, don't do it.
And you did it in the worst possible way for a bunch of rich white influencers in the middle of a fucking desert.
That sucks. But he died.
That's a weird thing. Also, if you've never watched that, just It's weird. It's so weird.
I saw just short, like a few second clip. I'm not sitting through that. That's almost I'm not even a Tupac guy. That's sacrilegious to me.
It's like I don't know how to explain it. Where I just like I was working like sorting mail, and I just stopped and watched it.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Oh wow.
I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Jeez, man, that's nuts. So he dies tragically, and it's a whole to-do. After in the week following, it says right here, in the following week of Tupac's shooting, 3 people were killed in 12 shootings. The police performed a massive raid of almost 40 houses, including Orlando Anderson's, who was an altercation with him is kind of what sparked the whole thing, including Orlando Anderson's, where they confiscated a death row pendant. I'm not going to say anything, but that's a little fishy. Fishy.
Man, I can't think of... Maybe they do exist. Maybe it's just like more my generation. I can't think of like 2 very famous people who died where it's like we don't know who killed them.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I think there's some loose threads being tied up and recent. I don't really follow it.
My mind is full conspiracy. I mean, I'm fully on there, dude. I'm like, I think this was a completely set up thing. I think,
he's too powerful.
He's too influential.
He's Tupac.
He had too much to say. Tupac had too much to say.
If we don't kill this man right now, he told you the Tupacalypse is coming. You don't want to redo it.
I think it was a lot to do with money and his name and. Bad people want to take advantage of that.
Although it is funny how much shit he talked about Puffy, and Puffy did end up being a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, it's a story of two sides. Everyone is a horrible piece of shit, and then somewhat sympathetic. Everyone, maybe except for one large man who owned a record label whose name I won't mention. But
I think he's locked away for good. I've heard people.
I hope so.
I've heard people go into this guy now. Like I don't think he wields any power.
I will not trust that at all.
As long as he's alive.
As long as he's alive, I don't like him. But Tom notes here, he dies, but though, of course, as we all know, Tupac isn't really dead. He's working down the chip shop with Elvis. And then he says, I doubt many Tupac fans are going to get that reference.
Some will.
Elvis is alive. Tupac's alive. Jim Morrison's alive. No one died. All right. We're all just fools. They're all alive. But even still, here's his first posthumous album.
A year?
No, it's the same fucking year that he died.
Jesus Christ.
He released 2 albums and died in the same year. And it's also the only official one as Makaveli. And are you ready?
I need to fast forward.
There's a time. Yeah, it's a very lengthy intro.
I'm ready.
But here it is. The best album title of his career.
Hell yeah.
This is 1996's The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory.
I thought this was going to be my favorite album.
This is the gnarliest, weirdest opening track ever.
It is weird.
Listen to these samples.
This is like that collage thing where you're talking about it's like 2. I've heard so many like rappers I like say they love this album.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought I was going to like it.
And hearing something like this, I'm like, this is genuinely interesting. This is like one of the most interesting things I've ever heard. It's not pleasant, but I like it. I find it really refreshing.
I thought like this was gonna be a really fucking dark album.
Yeah,
because like
the intro, the cover, obviously.
Hail Mary, like I know Hail Mary, like that song fucking rules.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. And Worsley's favorite, and that's probably gonna get me killed, but I have strong feelings about this. I will talk all about that.
I was so disappointed with this album, but
insanely.
This because I've heard so many like rappers I like cited as an influence, and like it seemed like more up my alley looking at the songs like, oh, all right, this almost has like a metal feel to it. I didn't think it was going to sound
not
metal,
like heavy metal. Yeah, not
but you
metal.
got blasphemy on there, and it's just yeah, and then it's just like it's the posthumous rapper thing where like guests do a lot of the heavy lifting,
a lot of guests,
and it's not A-list people. Like, I know he's tight with the Outlaws. Outlaws should be on here 100%, but like
there's a lot of Outlaws on here.
Where's Snoop? Where's Dre? Where are these guys?
Yeah.
They're not on here. It's all like these like C-list or rappers.
Yeah. So you like Hail Mary? People love Hail Mary. I don't like Hail Mary.
Interesting.
It's not a bad song. It's a morbid song. It's a cool song, honestly. As track 2, the pacing wise, it just ruins the flow for me.
I think it could have, like, if it kept up that energy, like it would work better there.
Yeah, honestly, if it was track 3, I'd be cool with it. It's just something about having it, because it sets up this really dissonant, really interesting thing with Bomb First, and I'm expecting a little bit more brutality, and then Hail Mary comes down and it just slows things way too down from an album pacing standpoint. As a song, it's I don't mind the song very much. It's a fine song, but
I knew I was in trouble when Toss It Up came on.
Really, I actually like Toss It Up.
Toss It Up opens with like Tuvan throat singing. Yeah. I was like, this is gonna be the most evil song ever, and it's just a song about throwing your dick, which like that's this. And also it's so similar to like No Diggity. Like
I didn't even think of that.
No Diggity.
You're right.
I like to bag it up. It's so similar.
I didn't think about that. I was more fixated on those ooh samples. The ooh. Oh yeah. I mean, they are pretty funny.
Well, he's a ghost now.
I'm surprised you don't like the robot vocals.
Yeah, I think I was just like, the intro is like so cool and metal, and I'm like, wait, this is a song about fucking.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I don't love it, but I think it got a lot of interesting and really cool textures in there. I like the way it's like the way it's produced. A lot of the samples in there. However, after that song becomes a real painful experience, so bad that I'm in agony with this album. So everything after that, I think, is pretty horrible.
We're gonna get kicked out of LA right now.
Yes, we are. Except Hold Your Head, which I think is one of his best songs. One of my favorite songs.
Shit.
I love Hold Your Head.
Really?
I fucking love this song.
Really?
Dude, great bass line that's played simultaneously with a piano line. Sounds fucking awesome. The smooth vocals are a bit annoying, but what are you going to do? Whatever. I'm fine with that. I'll deal with that because I fucking love his flow on there, and I love the bass line. I love those hooks.
You like the bass line there. I don't know if you noticed it. The only thing that like made Life of an Outlaw like salvageable to me is the bass player. That guy, I don't know who the bass player is. That guy is having so much fun.
Oh,
like I could just tell, like, it feels like he doesn't give a fuck. He's just like,
he's just grooving out, dude.
He's just fucking It's a cool bass line on Life of an Outlaw.
My favorite thing about that is those little samples. They sound like Asian strings. I don't remember the name of the instrument.
Yeah, it's a gondola.
It's a gondola. It's a whole gondola boat.
Yeah, the samples are like budget Santana though.
I don't. Yeah, my main problem with it is the fucking chorus, the smooth sung vocals.
'Cause you're so smooth.
Killer Rob Thomas impression you got there.
It's just like the ocean under the moon.
God damn. What else? Blasphemy. Another weird thing. There's clipping all over it. It's not, I don't mean like
some vocals sound real bad on this.
I don't mean like a cool distorted effect. I mean like actual clipping.
Like it sounds like studio, like home recording some of the vocals.
Some of it's really rough. I don't hate the main hook. I just mostly hate the reggae vocals, and it's overstays its welcome. A lot of it just goes on for too long.
I give that one a slight thumbs up just because it's more of that like darker direction that I thought was going to be in this album.
To Live and Die in LA, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I hate it. That chorus basically makes me sick.
I think it is a fine song. Is that Quincy QD or is that someone?
QD3? I don't know.
It's fine, but yeah, that's the one where he like shouts out Mexicans.
Oh, okay.
That like solidified him, and he's still right there, I think.
There is so many just baffling things on here. So Just Like Daddy is holy shit, laughably awful.
So bad.
The woman singing Just Like Daddy over and over and over again it's actually funny. It's insane.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, there's several of my favorite bad things about Tupac are all on this album. There's that one, this one, Crazy.
Dude, there's nothing crazy about that song.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
How he's trying to sing the word crazy is crazy. Crazy. He's like, it's out of his vocal range, and he's still trying to sing it, which seems crazy. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny.
I'll give him credit, since he wasn't living. Maybe, he's just messing around in the studio.
Maybe. And honestly, the bass on that song wouldn't be so bad if the whole package wasn't so damn corny. But then we get my favorite bad thing on the album. And I hope you're ready for it. Me and My Girlfriend.
No.
Dude, my favorite bad thing on the album.
Hold on.
Proceed.
I thought you were going to say White Man's World, but I'll get back to that.
Well, we will get back to that. Don't think I forgot about that song.
Good.
Because I want to talk about Me and My Girlfriend first.
Me and My Girlfriend.
Oh my God.
So, first of all, it's so funny how he's talking shit about Jay-Z on this album. And I think there's probably no beef. There's probably no beef. It'd be stupid to have beef with the dead man. It feels kind of passive aggressive. Jay-Z took that and made that a hit song.
I'm not spotting it. I'm not that familiar with Jay-Z.
He did it party with Beyonce. They have their song Bonnie and Clyde 03.
Oh, okay.
It's like cleaner.
Oh, okay.
With Me and My Girlfriend.
Okay.
I think it's fine. I just think it's that's what stood out to me is there's a lot of Jay-Z hatred on this album. And I was like, dude, Jay-Z took this.
See, you went in a more the behind the scenes.
I was already I knew that song going into it.
The reason why this is my favorite bad thing.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised. I guess you didn't spot it because you're already so invested with all this the Jay-Z aspect of it. The fact that he sounds exactly like fucking Randy Newman on the chorus, the way he says me and my girl, me and my girlfriend, and he repeats that line 1,000 times. I think just like Randy Newman every single time.
I think at this point, much like you, I had just entered into by myself getting Tupac Tourette's doing this the gibberish doing things like that the Randy Newman, I was already in there noticing the way he had so I think I was just too lost in the Tupac sauce.
Dude, man, that line, it's so funny to me. And then so that's my favorite part of that song. But then you get the rest with the girlfriend character.
Yeah.
Just unloading a machine gun and screaming at people. And it's just so goofy. It's so funny. It's absolutely ridiculous. But
yeah.
Okay, now let's go to White Man's World. I think there's a universe where that song isn't bad, but it's not at that point in the album.
That song, I was like, the lack of self-awareness this man has, because he opens it up talking about how hard it is for black women. I'm like, it is really hard for black women, sometimes they record songs with Method and Redman. They think they have a hit song.
That's true.
And they give that song to a rapist. That's
is
real hard for women.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, man.
That's a rough shake for women,
Literally,
Tupac.
What happened? I don't know. I don't got anything to say.
So it was just like the lack of, well, obviously he says he didn't do it, but
well, what do we know? Hey, what do we know?
It's beating a dead. There's no, like, the woman has spoken about it as recently as 2018. He's dead. He can't defend himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry for her, but yeah, it's just, he's dead. What can you do about it?
What can you do?
Yeah.
For the song though, I mean, it's got a shit chorus that I am baffled by. It has a decent bass line with iffy production, but there's just so many things happening. It's like the song equivalent of having multiple tabs open. There's like a lot. There's just there's a lot of that kind of like the production, the beats and the production here is just, it's so all over the fucking place and just.
This man told us in a white man's world with a Z, and this honky motherfucker went and made his prophecy.
Yep, that is true. And also the last thing to note, I mean, the clothes are against all odds. I'm okay with it. I don't love it, but
I was beaten down.
Beaten down. It's not horrible. I'm only giving it that pass because Hold Your Head was right before it, and it made me happy.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not as bad as it could be, but still the album is, I think, fucking rough. And my worst and least favorite, it's disjointed and weirdly produced and chaotic. And not only is Tupac's contributions really minimal here, even a lot of his rhyming here is a lot more stifled. It's not nearly as like, I don't want to say flowy, but like connected. It felt very connected on the last album. It's a lot more like the early days where he was just sort of it didn't feel like he had a stamp. It didn't feel like he had his personality.
I think my dream Tupac album would be like taking some of this and some of his earlier songs and stuff that got warped and like doing like Grave Diggers type production, or like the Mafia 6 production, which is this 3-6 Mafia, but doing darker stuff. I want to hear that. That's what I thought this album was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to have like this, because the album art and I was like, okay, this is going to be like dark and grimy, and it
feels like a collection of B-sides.
It's cobbled together.
Yeah, it definitely feels pretty hobbled. But that wouldn't be the last posthumous album. We got Are You Still Down, Until the End of Time, Better Days, Lord of the Game, Pac's Life. Of course, the Greatest Hits was like a huge one.
Oh, because this trimmed out all the fat.
Yeah, pretty much. I imagine that would probably be a best if we covered that, but that's cheating.
Unless there's some sort of weird demand. Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah. Tom notes here about the Until the End of Time, which came out in 2001. He says 5 years after his death, and this posthumous record debuts at #1 in the US, and by now has probably sold over 5 million copies worldwide. Is Tupac the Elvis of his time, i.e., with an image that became so much bigger than the person, ruthlessly milked for all possible monetary value and gobbled up by masses who will eagerly consume anything that features the face of their beloved icon?
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The watch company Nixon. They sell like Tupac watches. I talked about the Tupac's on Broadway.
For Pac's Life, which came out 2006, Tom notes, 7th posthumous album, only reaching #9 in the US charts. Fuck, looks like it's time to find another cash cow to bleed, boys. Oh well, those t-shirts and hoodies will keep selling.
Jeez, man. I mean, like we said, he's like, he has like a look like, it's like shirtless Jim Morrison and shirtless Tupac.
Yep.
Like you can just...
And shirtless Fat Elvis, for me.
Well, yeah, for me, shirtless Fat Elvis, shirtless Matt Pike, also fat preferably, but also I want him to get in shape. And then
for his health.
And then shirtless, fat Glenn Danzig.
Oh, dude. So good.
Yeah.
So fat. He's old now. He's an old man. I give him some credit. But yeah, that's it. We made it to the end. This is a longer episode than I actually thought it was going to be.
I knew it was going to be long.
I knew it'd be long, but I actually thought it was going to be shorter, believe it or not, because of only 5 albums. But
I came in with some fat. I was like, oh, with Mike's track record of feeling indifferent towards things like Clips.
Yeah, I mean, Clips was not indifferent. That was hatred.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I did not like Clips.
I was like, I better bring some.
Well, we brought it, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you don't hate our guts, especially Josh, who requested it, thank you for hanging out and watching.
Josh is the only person, like, he can hate it. I don't care.
Okay, you don't mind if he hates it.
I don't mind if he hates it. People I don't know, like I don't care. I don't know you.
Yeah. I hope he's fine with it. Everyone else, whatever, cool. But let's do a recap. Holy crap!
Worst, least favorite, Tupacalypse Now. Boy, oh boy, this crossroads, like identity crisis there. Best, Strictly for My Word I Can't Say.
It's an acronym, to be fair.
It is an acronym. But again, I've seen what they did to that white woman at that Kendrick Lamar concert a few years ago. And
if you can't stop us from spelling a word so you know what we're talking about, come on. It's literally abbreviated.
Anyways, I was surprised. I love that album.
Yeah. Best and personal favorite.
Maybe
right.
not love, but yeah. Best,
like.
Yeah. Best personal favorite. Give it a listen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the Tupac that we know.
But it's consistently the best.
I wouldn't say it's the best. And in fact, I would say All Eyez on Me is the best. Even though
you did.
It's best and personal favorite. And even though it's too long in the second half, I dislike. The first half is so incredibly strong. And if you like Pac, his rapping is never better. He's just flawless on the whole thing, even if I don't like the beats at all in the second half. Don Killuminati, 70 Theory, despite having the best album title, boy, do I not like the album at all. God damn it. But we are at the end. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you want to hang out, you know what to do. Subscribe. Talk some shit in the comments. Tell us why we're idiots and why we don't know anything. Or you can just be cool and hang out and do all that. Follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex.
Check out our history guy, Tom Osman, at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music and TomOsman.substack.com for his podcast where he interviews a bunch of cool musicians and a bunch of other neat music related stuff. Don't you dare forget to check out the patreon.com/every album ever. That's where you go. That's where Josh went to suggest this full episode for us. You get bonus episodes. You get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide who we cover next. You get to join our Discord, be a part of our community, as well as suggest our EAE singles episodes. That's where we pick them all out. And if you're tier 2, just like Josh, you can suggest a full discography for us to cover on our bigger, longer numbered episodes, as well as suggest any album from any discography for us to cover on a Patreon bonus episode. So go there, do that, please, and thank you. Yeah, that's about wraps it up. So closing time.
Want to listen to Hit 'Em Up?
No, I absolutely do not want to listen to Hit 'Em Up.
Damn it, I tried.
I hate the song. I want How Do You Want It, baby.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So thanks so much for listening and watching. See ya.